Hi, everybody. It's Angie Rupert, founder of Rupert Law Group. We handle exclusively E2 and E1 visas, so no matter what treaty country you're from or in what state you want to be, we can help. Today, well, you know what? Let's pause for a second. If you take a moment, please like and subscribe to our videos. And of course, if you find them useful, and we hope that you do, please send them to a friend or family member who may also be interested in the E2 or E1 visa. So with that, let's get started. What about buying a business that has real estate attached to it? What are the tricks and tips? What are the things that we recommend? What are the things that we don't recommend? That's what we're going to talk about today. So, an example that I get a lot is, what if I'm buying a hotel or a motel? Or what if I'm going to buy a dental office? Or what if I'm going to buy some other type of medical clinic? Right? A convenience store, gas station, other type of business that comes with real estate. What do we recommend? So, one of the first things that we tell everyone is bifurcate the agreement, right? So, there are several reasons for this, but the main reason is it makes the business a lot cheaper, right? So, what do I mean by bifurcating the purchase agreement? So, what I'm talking about is this: if you're going to buy a motel and the real estate attached, those are two separate items, right? They're the assets, the ongoing or the future reservations, things like that. And then there's actually the real estate, right? The land and the building. The land in the building is usually worth a couple $1,000,000 at a bare minimum, right? Could be way more than that. The business itself may be worth closer to 150 to $200,000. So in the case of the E2, remember that in order to prove that you have a substantial investment, you have to have a majority of the funds required to run this business already invested. So if we're talking about the purchase of a business, that is that assets, reservations, things like that, goodwill, name recognition, maybe some sort of IP or intellectual property that goes along with the business, you might be looking at 150 or $200,000. It's pretty easy. I mean, easier, right? To get to 100% of the purchase price of that business. But what if you throw the real estate in and it's 2.5 million? So now the purchase of this business is 2.7. Suddenly the 150 doesn't work at all because you're not even at 5%, right, of the overall purchase price. That we try to get those purchase agreement bifurcated. So you're buying two things. For the E2 LLC or C Corp, you're buying the business, the assets, the goodwill, the outstanding reservations in the case of a hotel, right? Then you could start a separate LLC, and maybe this time it's with a partner. That LLC will purchase the real estate separate from the E2 LLC, which will purchase the business and run the business. Okay. That also goes for, we get a lot of questions about medical type businesses, right? Dental office, veterinarian clinics, other types of, medical clinics, things like that. We always recommend that you keep the real estate separate and out of that E2 LLC or C Corp. Hold that in a separate entity, okay? Because in that one, maybe you have multiple business partners, maybe you have to get loans for it, all of that thing. You have it totally separate. That should be fine. There's only one business, right? That separate LLC is just holding real estate. It doesn't hold any type of business. You're not working for that entity or anything even similar. You're still working in that E2 visa LLC or C Corp, and that's the one that holds the business, right? So that's one of the tips and tricks. And the reason, again, is because it really helps with the proportionality of your substantial investment. Also, it can help to make sure that it goes a lot faster, right? So if you have to get loans for the real estate, if you need business partners in order to afford the real estate, all of those things can happen totally separately, even after you get your E2 visa. You don't have to wait on that, right? You can still rent out that property from the sellers until you're able to get down here, get a business partner, maybe get loans for the real estate, all of that. That's a totally separate thing. And it's not going to hold up the E2 visa process because you're buying the assets of the business. not the real estate as part of the E2 visa. Okay, so that's one of the main tips or tricks. Other than that, we kind of work through the steps the way we always work through the steps. But anytime you're considering a business with real estate as part of the purchase, consider splitting those into two purchases, into two separate business entities. It should save you a lot of time, a lot of money, and improve your odds of approval on that E2 business. So, with that, if you want to buy a business that has real estate attached to it, or any type of E2 visa of business for that matter, please reach out anytime. We'd love to speak with you about your E2 visa.